Our next speaker comes to us from Ukraine, which the whole world has been watching with horror in the past few days and the past several weeks. Olga Aivazovska is chair of the Ukrainian civil society organization Opora, head of the board at the Global Network of Domestic Election Monitors. She is currently displaced from Ukraine in Poland, where she works at the International Center of Ukrainian Victory. Forced to flee Ukraine after the recent Russian invasion, she has become one of the chief advocates for a special tribunal against Vladimir Putin and his associates. She's leading a program to document war crimes by the Russian military by speaking with refugees in Poland. Prior to Putin's invasion, she participated in negotiations with Russia to end the conflict in the Donbass. She was named repeatedly one of the top 100 most influential women in Ukraine. She comments regularly on Ukrainian politics, electoral reform, and the advancement of democracy. I know you're going through terrible things in your life and the life of your people right now, and it means a lot that you made the trip to be with us here at the United Nations. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I'm going to have a long speech tomorrow. That's why I have only 3 minutes today. And I want to focus on my feelings. I have only one wish: to back home. I'm 40 years old. I had a professional background. I was fighting for free and fair elections, not only in Ukraine, but around the world, because my organization has capacity to share the best practices, how to protect political rights in Ukraine. Ukraine was a part of post-Soviet Union world for many, many years. But when Ukraine decided to be democratic countries and to stay strongly on that point of decision-making process, Russia decided to break the state, to kill the civilian, and to continue this aggression as far as it possible. You know that Russians had a hope that Ukraine will be occupied during 48 hours. I have only one superpower. I'm Ukrainian. And my son, he is sitting here. He wants to back home. We are talking about that each day. 5 Ukrainian children have been killed each of the day. 60% of Ukrainian children are displaced already. 4 million Ukrainians are living now abroad, and 80% of these people want to back home. And it doesn't matter what countries will open the doors for our citizens, all of these people want back home. My husband is fighting for Ukrainian independence already, as many of my colleagues, because our men have to protect our state and our society. But if you think that the worst thing what may happen with your cities or your country is missiles or bombing the peaceful cities and state, it doesn't true. Did you see what is going on in Bucha or Irpin? In de-occupied cities, small cities near the Kiev. After liberated small towns like Irpin and Bucha, it's impossible to ignore what's really going on. Hundreds of people were executed. And truly, we don't know the real number of people which were killed by Russian soldiers during a few weeks on these cities. Shot in back of their head, with their hands tied behind their backs. They were murdered with their children. They have been lying in the streets for weeks. You can easily find the photos in global media. This is anti-human behavior. Along the roads and sidewalks lay the naked bodies of women who were raped. In Bucha town, civilians were executed. But we are talking about 35,000 city, small city. Can you imagine what is going on in Mariupol now? It's 400,000 city with civilians which couldn't leave the city because it's almost blocked by Russians. And the worst story that it's not only Putin. It's 71% of the Russians which are supporting his decision to destroy Ukrainian state. You are a part of the history. because democratic state now is under the attack of authoritarian regime with Belarus. Not only Russia participated on this war. And Ukraine can be a corridor between free world as EU and other countries and between authoritarian states. 86% of the Russians will be happy if Russia will start aggression against EU. Of course, you can't believe in each of these statisticians because so many people can say truth in Russia. At the same time, we see that it's not only Putin regime. Historically, Soviet Union didn't got their responsibility after the thousands of hundreds of Ukrainians which were killed for many tens of the years on this part of the world. That's why I believe that in the evil of the left if the evil is left unpunished, it will only keep growing. Please stop this aggression and not just continue watching what is going on in Ukraine. Please support Ukraine because it's a new page of the history after the Second World War. Other authoritarian regimes will see that nothing will happen with them if they decide to destroy not only the political will of their state or their people and their civilians, but any other, in any other part of the world. Thank you. Sorry for emotion.
Thank you, Olga. And you have tremendous courage that you came here. And it's very important for the international community to hear your testimony. And I hope that everyone here will take what you said and do whatever we can, whether it's human rights groups or member states, to help your people and to stop this aggression.